I tried to buy this building for like years. And then all of a sudden it appeared in auction, and there was a newspaper article saying, no one wants to buy Mole Man's house. I was like, hang on a minute, I've been trying to buy this house for years. I was cycling to Shoreditch when I came across this derelict site covered in scaffolding. It said, keep out in every way, do not come near me. On the spot rang Hackney Council, and I said, can you tell me about this house? And he just said to me, Google the Mole Man. It was a place that nobody wanted to touch. Obviously, this man had been, he'd lived here for 40 years. He'd tunnelled and built rooms and made extensions. He'd been evicted. The neighbours got terrified. They thought the whole building was going to collapse. Rumour had it that he was burrowing his way to Barclays Bank on the corner, and he was going to raid the bank. They rerouted the number 76 bus that was going down Stamford Road, and they thought that like people would be standing there waiting for the bus, and under the weight of the bus it was going to collapse in the road, and everybody waiting at the bus stop was going to like sink into a sinkhole. At one point it appeared, it had a full 20-foot Wonder Bra ad on the roof, patching up the gap. Do you remember the Wonder Bra ad that was on Old Street Roundabout, and people was like crashing their cars looking at it? No one knew what to do with it, and so it took somebody that was possibly as mad as him to take it on. My architects and the building contractor said it'd be much cheaper to pull the thing down and then rebuild it brick by brick. But I was like, no, I want to keep the history. For me, it would have lost the legacy of the Mole Man. What we did was we tried to retain the four walls of the building. It's got this amazing handmade feel that the Mole Man, of shapes that he built with his bare hands, in contrast to these sharp, angular edges that David Adjaye has poured in. So it's got this very sure difference between the old and the new. When we were digging some of the concrete, we didn't know what we were going to find when we started digging. There were so many rumours, you know, we were hoping we were going to find a pot of gold. He had a wife. We thought we were probably going to uncover the wife at some point as well. We didn't know what we were going to discover. I always said to people, you get like 3 works in one. You've got the baggage, the story of the Mole Man, and then you've got David Adjaye coming along, you know, with his ideas, and you know, and then the kind of conceptual thing is like, okay, well, behind it is an artist that actually works in kind of junk. I see building a house no different from building a giant sculpture. Being born an artist is like having a burden on your back. It's always chasing you, it consumes you, and you're never satisfied. David works well with artists because artists generally have no fear. This is the unravelling of my brain. What helped me fathom the story of my life was creating a type of crime scene investigation of my life. Everything I've ever learnt in life is from listening to the first 4 albums of Susie and the Banshees. When you look at that wall, there's possibly more references to music than there is to art. Although I went to art school and I studied art, I kind of thought it's a bit weird to be too influenced by art, because then you end up making art that's derivative of other people's art. And I've ended up working with some great people, like Nick Cave, did his album cover. Dig, Lazarus, dig. It's fascinating looking at the remains of the building, some of the structures that the Mole Man made. When he made his own mixture of concrete, he put in stones, he threw in chunks of metal, he's patched holes up with pieces of cardboard or newspapers, and they're still there. That's a piece of history that is never going to go away. And I guess in a way it reminded me of my own work.